keep it rolling, you know. Take the best of it, keep it going.
Hmm.
So, got to stay positive, That's what it's all about, it's that and, you know, supportive friends, surrounding yourself with people that are very supportive, that are like-minded like yourself. And yeah, I saw you burning some sage over there. Is that for me or is that for Tony?
No, I was burning just regular incense, but I really should burn some sage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's in my cauldron here. It's just regular incense, and I put in some orange because that like lifts spirits. Like
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
was
we're pretty goofy anyways, but I thought like heighten the goofiness.
hiding the goofiness.
So,
Yeah.
but I do have sage. See, always
Oh,
have it.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I had a neighbor that hated me, and she actually took some action. It took her a year, but she was the one that was kicked out with the bad
yeah.
spirit. But yeah, she was saging all the time, and I was thinking, why is she saging me? I have no problem with her. And
You know,
everybody in the
you know what
neighborhood
you
is
could have.
like, why do you
Yeah,
guys hate each other? And I'm like, I don't even pay attention to her. Maybe that's why she hates me. It's kind
she
of
should
like
have used this.
it reminds me. There's this bar here in West Hollywood in WeHo,
Hmm.
and I used to go there. It's the Rainbow Room. I used to go there all the time with my then boyfriend, now husband. And the owner, he was always the maitre d' or whatever. And I never knew his name. And then when I go there by myself, he would always insist that I take my food and go. And then I find out he passed away, that I was calling him by the wrong name. And I was wondering if that's why he hated me all these years. So I don't know why I push people's buttons. I definitely have picked a huge fight with the cops. I mean, I've been beaten a few times. I've been arrested more times than I can count, wrongfully, of course. And I'm always getting into, and you know what it is? It's my confidence that is killing them. It's like, standing up to them and not being afraid is why I feel that they can't stand me either. It's just like, come on, everybody, get a sense of humor, okay? I know that life is dangerous. Listen, yeah,
That
let's
is not something you want to say to a cop.
get a sense of humor.
Lighten up.
Lighten up. Yeah, you're messing with the wrong girl. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, I mean, life has been tough. So, anyway, so I thought tonight we would talk my jail stories. Does anybody want to know
Hi.
how many times
Yay.
I snored and got the shit kicked out of me, or how I used to dance around naked for all the inmates? They would line up and take their seats while I was getting out of the shower. I sure had a good time. And then there was I was put in. They kept moving me from place to place. And then there was one place that was all the criminally insane, like the baby killers they put me in with. Of course, I
That's
had my own cell. Oh, it was insanity. It was crazy. The noise is maddening enough. And I was put in solitaire for 3 weeks without shower or food. Made it to court, thank God. And even the judge said, not guilty, go home. But nope, the jailers had to prove their point with me. And so, yeah, so I am really not in favor of the system the way it is, especially since, I'm a mother, I'm a professional. You've known me for years, Liz, and you know that I'm a really good-hearted person. I'm generous. I mean, I help my friends out in need, so it just doesn't make any sense why I would be singled out. And, yeah, I do act like I'm a fucking goddess on this planet. And if you don't fucking like it, then get a sense of humor, because that's the way it is in today's world. Women are finally standing up for themselves. And you know what? No man or no woman should be putting hands on anybody, including me, for any
mhm.
reason.
Mhm.
But another thing that I did, I was transferred to a different jail, and that was a trip because they had warm showers. It was like I got a warm shower finally. They put me in a cell with 3 other inmates, and we would all break. There was well, we would all eat together, and even the bailiffs, they kept saying that my nails were too long because I didn't do anything. I didn't do dishes. I didn't go anywhere. All I did was like eat and give the tray back and lay in bed, whatever. So my nails were super long, and they even said that I had to cut my nails, which I refused. I didn't cut my nails. I exited jail with these long, beautiful nails. And no, it's just that the way they treat you is like an animal, that you have to line up by the wall. They come in with rifles and try to intimidate you and terrorize you. And like if you ever write a grievance, because believe me, I did many times, especially when I got the shit kicked out of me, they would all charge, they would raid the area, and they were just horrible, and then even the phone calls in jail are just astronomical. You think that I charge a lot of money as a psychic? Believe me, it's no comparison. It's no comparison. Like I would call Brainstorm for a minute. I would get a candy bar or two. My weekly allowance, I think, was around $50 or whatever, and then the freaking prison keeps like a third of it, whatever. And they used to be able to, like, outsiders would be able to buy the stuff for you. It's called commons. And then they would deliver it, and it would be like, heaven, somebody thought of me. Ah. But then they changed it that you can't. You have to go through one source, and you got to put the money in, and then they keep part of that money. It doesn't even go to the inmates. And then they charge like this astronomical amount of money. So I would get myself a candy bar if I was lucky, 2 candy bars a week, and then I put the rest on phone. And then every day when I would shower, and I was out for an hour, I would call Brainstorm, and he all we did really was say, "I'm okay. Are you okay? I'm okay. Okay, I love you. Okay, I love you too. Okay, bye." And then I would go sit on the cell and think about the conversation. I got 2 letters the whole time I was in, and I would read the letters over and over and over again. But I was saying that I did go to this one really, really nice jail. I mean, it wasn't that nice, but I mean, it was way better than where I was. And anyway, they would let us out for showers all together. So that was pretty special because where I was at, they basically locked you up for 23 hours. So there, I would get out playing cards, and all the inmates would line up for readings, and I would get coffee and cookies and candy, and so I worked the system as a psychic in the system, and I met some pretty crazy people. I mean, there was this one girl, oh my gosh, she was gorgeous. Okay, she was absolutely beautiful. She was in for murder. She murdered her best friend, and she got caught because she left her phone on, and they tracked her phone right to where she was. And I think she was like in her 3rd appeal, and I had to give her the bad news that you might as well just stay in jail, because if you get out, you're not going to be alive for very long. She didn't like to hear that. And then she was like really spooked and didn't want to have anything to do with it. But I really won over a lot of friends in jail, I have to tell you. And also they called me, I got the nickname Gangsta. That was my nickname. Gangsta. I did gangsta style. And then everybody would, oh my gosh, it was insanity. Everybody would get in circles and pray, and I would stand outside of the circle, and boy, did I almost get jumped a few times until I was like, wait a minute, I believe in a goddess. I believe in a goddess. I do believe in something. Okay, don't hurt me. I believe in something. I'm just not going to join your prayer group if I don't believe in a god. I mean, everything on this planet except a seahorse comes through a woman, so why would I pray to a man? And especially in jail, I have nothing to pray for. So It was pretty dangerous. There was this girl that was in for murder also, and then she was in prison, and she got caught with drugs, and I learned exactly how it all goes through the system. So I got educated on that. And the jailers hated me because I wouldn't join the prayer group, and I didn't fit in with the jailers, and I didn't fit in with the crazy people, and I didn't fit in at all, as a matter of fact. And then there was this one Asian jailer. There was no Asian inmates, by the way. It just was one Asian jailer, and I used to make fun of her because she was as thick as bricks, just really thick. And she came by and she's like, "Oh, I heard you're getting out tomorrow." And of course, I should be getting out. I mean, what the hell am I here for, right? So what I do, I give away everything, all my food, my papers, my envelopes, and believe me, all this stuff is valuable, okay? And I'm ready to go. And then I got moved to another jail with nothing. And then it was over the holidays, and because I moved jails, my commissary didn't come, so I didn't speak to Brainstorm for almost 2 weeks. And it was through the holidays, and it was just a horrible experience that nobody should ever suffer. Nobody. There's no crime. And believe me, I know, you even said it to me too, Liz, that when you even said that you have a different perspective about inmates, knowing that I've been to jail, someone like me. Do you want to share your thoughts on that? I know you've mentioned it before.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, I mean, I've always thought it was a horrible place. And then the little things like that you just mentioned are things that we don't know about, that people who are on the outside don't know about, like, like waiting for letters, or waiting for packages, or or finding, like the fact that, well, quite frankly, I didn't know where the hell you were for, for all that time. So I don't know. Anyways, it was,
And
uh,
you never thought to look in jail. I'm sure you checked the morgue though, right?
no, I never did think.
Exactly. I wouldn't have looked for myself in jail either. I mean, what the hell
I
I was
was
doing
calling
there?
BJ. I was calling
You were?
people.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
How is
yeah. And
BJ?
I was like, yeah, where is she? Have you heard from her? Blah, blah, blah. And yeah, no, but I never thought in terms of having to do stuff to stay unharmed. And I just think when you know somebody who's been in jail, the trauma, becomes so real. It's not just like this far away thing. It's like everyday emotional and physical, sometimes trauma of being in jail, or it's one thing to hear people talk about, yeah, I was in solitary, but when it's your friend, it's like, the thought of your friend being, unable to take showers, and, and locked up like that is, it's painful.
Oh
I mean, you
no,
feel the
they were
pain,
wanting to kill me. They didn't feed me for 3 weeks. They finally took me to a bogus arraignment because even the judge said, "You can go home. What the hell are you here for?" And the bailiffs, they wouldn't let me home. They actually like hurt my hands when they put handcuffs on. But when I had to go to court, they paraded me through like a thick sea of gangsters, okay? A thick sea. I'm the only girl going through the prison system with this, all these guys like hooping and hollering like they've never seen a blonde before, especially without tattoos in their presence. And then after the arraignment, and the judge was like, "Oh, you can go home." The bailiffs they were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna go home tonight. They're gonna let you out. Just you're going home." And I was like, "Great, yeah, okay, yeah." So I get in the elevator, and of course they chain your legs, they chain your arms, and they chain you to another inmate. And there was this one inmate, and listen to this story. This was horrible. She got arrested right after she had a baby, and she had a tube, an open wound, and a tube sticking out of her as they chained me to her, right? She told me the story how her mother worked at a hospital, and her mother stole a bunch of money and went to Mexico. And there was never communication with the daughter that I was chained to, but she was arrested for being an accessory by just being the daughter of. Now, this is the type of arrest that I've seen and I've witnessed time and time and time again. And there was one girl that I became friendly with, and then she gets out, and she ends up killing her boyfriend, and I have a detective calling me, and thank God, brainstorm, it's like, no biggie. Of course, he can vouch to where I was at all the time. So that's one thing that I had to do when I exited, is make sure that I always had an alibi or somebody with me all the time, because once again, the cops are like sharks. I mean, once they have your DNA in the system, they will circle around until they have an opportune time to frame you with something, because that's where that's my perspective on the whole operation. But I was also raised in a foster home, so I'm used to being a slave to the government. This is nothing new. So then I was going through a head trip. You remember, because I did call you. It was, I got arrested again in...
Sorry to laugh.
It's true. No, I got arrested twice within 12 hours. But the second time I got arrested was in broad daylight. And the cop... I was like totally like dry mouth that he was arresting me because I wasn't drunk, and here I'm getting a fucking DUI, and there's nothing in my system whatsoever. And I'm like, I need water. So I ran to my car to get water, and he tackled me, and he threw me to the ground, a full body weight of a man on my back. And I mean, my ribs were like just in pain for months, in pain. And then, you should have heard the conversation on the way to the jail. Okay. This was a guy that was born in a petri dish, that lives in Nevada, working in California, that even admitted to having some dead bodies in the desert. Okay. And he was the one that was drunk, because I smelled alcohol in his breath. So this is our cops, okay? They are criminals. They don't deserve to be having a gun. I deserve the gun, okay? I'm the citizen. I'm the unelected official. I'm the one that's in the decisioning making of my own finances and how I live my life, okay? And all those, the thing is everybody's fucking brainwashed to think that they can come to this land and claim it as theirs. This land is American-born land, okay? If you want to come here, then you have to do the system just like my husband did. And believe me, he has more money than God, and he had to work the system. So why are these poor people coming in thinking that they're entitled to this land? They're not. They're not. If you want to get a driver's license, and you want to get an education, and you want to work the system, and you want to be a good citizen, great. If you're over 36, get the hell home. Okay? Your children told on you. You know that you're not supposed to be here. This is not your land. This is why Americans are getting arrested, is because all the illegal aliens are bringing in their strawman or their country's money. And that's why the cops aren't touching them. Or they're all transgender, and the cops won't arrest a transgender because they would be lacking stocks. Okay, then tell me. I mean,
I have a transgender friend who's been arrested quite a few times and has been locked up. She's been locked up with men.
Oh my gosh. That's horrifying. That's horrifying.
It is horrifying.
They don't arrest transgenders here in Hollywood. The cops would be a laughingstock. They'll let them go. I know, because my girlfriend, who I plan on...
Sing.
What's that?
Men. Okay? They put her in the male part of Sing Sing. So she was constantly raped. So it's absolutely not true.
Well, the
And you know
cops
what it was
after well,
for? It was to
I
keep
was
water down.
raped. I was raped because the fucking cops kicked me out of jail without my ID. So put me in a fucking vulnerable situation where I was raped, okay? And then I had an APB out for me because I had to escape to a different state. Okay?
I know, but you can't blame other people for what's going on in this, in this country. And because I am from a family of immigrants, I feel very strongly
Did they come
about.
in before 1933?
Yes, they did.
Okay, well then you have permission to stay. You're an American. If they did not come in before 1933, these immigrants know that us Americans were supposed to be born with a trust fund. So they come over here and they use our IDs and they buy houses and they use their country's credit to basically look at the homeless. Look at how many Americans are on the streets. The immigrants have to go home. It's just the way it is. And another thing, I understand you have immigrant friends. I have immigrant friends, okay? I do too. But it's unfair that I have to look at my American friends or my American countrymen in jail or on the streets and not allowed to be free to carry a gun and defend themselves from thieves that are like banks that I've been fighting in court that just come in and say, that's my house. You don't own this anymore. You're not allowed, you're not entitled to it because you're a girl. And Sharia law doesn't allow girls to have a house. I mean, come
Yeah, these are
on,
like
go
totally
home.
separate
Maybe
issues.
in your country, women can't own a home, but in America, this is the land of the free. Our Constitution is a living document. We have to stand up. That's the only thing we have because we've been stripped by foreigners. We need to turn this ship around. Okay? If you like your foreigner friends so much, adopt them. Okay? Marry them. Keep them here. But my husband can't come back to this country because of money, because of all the foreigners that are here. When he married me, and believe me, he didn't really want to, he cried all the way down the aisle, married me to stay here. And now he can't come in because all these foreigners are draining the system. And if he leaves
You know
his
what?
country,
But
the economy will
you know who
collapse.
else blamed, foreigners and gypsies for all their problems? Nazi Germany did.
Yeah,
You
exactly. That was a whole hoax. And I'm not saying that
know?
it didn't happen. I'm saying that 6 million people were not murdered. That is all accounting, creative accounting. It's a creative accounting. It's all coming down. And yes, the bank that was financed by the Netherlands, sorry, Tony, but it was the Netherlands. He's Dutch. The financed World War II. And they took John McCloy, who was a general, and he was retired, and he was a Wall Street attorney, and they sent him over to Germany to broker dead people, okay? This is our economy. This is why, and the only way to escape death is go to jail. Okay, remember the drafts? Bill Gates walks in with a brick of marijuana. He doesn't go to jail. He doesn't go to war because he got arrested. Now it says that he made a left-hand turn or whatever. It's bullshit. It was marijuana. So anyway, it's just that this is a corrupt economy. A corrupt system, and all the foreigners are getting the benefits of the Constitution that was meant for the born people here of this land. We should be manning. We should be determining who buys a house and who doesn't, who lives here and who doesn't, who goes to school here and who doesn't. We need to have boundaries. A good
No,
mother,
no foreign
always has
person is
boundaries.
keeping me from anything. Nobody keeps me from anything. No, I'm not being oppressed by people of color. That is bullshit. It's the other way around. Try the other way around.
No, I totally agree. Listen, I grew up in DC as a blonde girl. You know how many times I had books beaten down on my head when I was trying to walk up the stairs? And you know what? I love black people. That's where I'm from. It's in my DNA. It's in my experiences. It's nothing that I can
It's in
change. But I
America's.
still got my ass beat by black people. And yes, there is reverse prejudice here. There's prejudice all over the world. But the thing is we have to understand it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian. If you're born on this soil, you have permission to be here. If you're not born on this soil, go home. You're ruining the world economy. We don't need you here. Thank you very much for bringing your children into the world. Goodbye. Goodbye. It's time to go home.
This much xenophobia in my whole entire life, and I lived through the 1960s, and I have not seen this kind of hatred for other cultures.
It's not hatred. It's not hatred. It's dollars and cents, and it's accounting. And it's a mother. It's a mother of a daughter that has to live in another country because it's too dangerous to be an American. Okay? It's enough already. Enough.
These people,
everybody that no, I'm sorry. There are rules of nature in this world, and you know more than anything, being a high priestess. You can bend nature, but you can't break it. And nature's rules always will exist. And the rest of the world plays by those rules. What makes us different? The media. The media. Oh, come to America. You will be free. You will have equality. Well, I'm an American. I'm not free. I'm still in court. I've got felonies. I might be going back to jail in a few months. I don't know. I have a good attorney. I'm hoping not. I don't think I should. I didn't do anything, but that's not what they say. I'm just too confident for my britches. They got to teach me a lesson, right? So I'm not phobic about anything. I'm just trying to be a mother. Okay? And like I said, I would love my daughter to come to this country. I would love my daughter to come back to this country and go to college and not worry sick about the cops. Okay? They're sharks. They're sharks. They shouldn't be in the state of California. They need to leave too. The police are not getting funding for their services. Sheriffs and marshals, that's it. That's the Constitution way. Get out. Go work for Congress elsewhere. They're not welcome. There's 7 states that it's citizens arrest. California's 1. So you cops, you're losing your funding. Get another job. Go hunt Bigfoot. He'll help you out. He helped me out. So, no, I'm sorry. It has to stop. It has to stop. It has to stop. Yeah, you haven't been to Hollywood. The last time you were in Hollywood, what was it, about 6 years ago? When I dropped you off at Hollywood and Vine, which is right around the corner here. How many years ago was that?
2007, so 11 years ago.
Okay, so you haven't been back. Tony? Mm-hmm. No, we're going to get Tony's expert opinion.
Yeah, help me.
I don't know if you want my opinion.
What about the homeless?
Oh, the homeless is really bad. It's gotten really bad.
How bad is it?
Yeah, it's gotten really, triple since I've been here.
So, yeah, so it's like India, basically. You know, people are living on the streets in tents. I mean, the next street over, Tony, isn't it like a whole sidewalk full of tents and homeless people?
Yeah. No, there is a lot of homeless people.
And these are Americans. These are Americans. So I don't want to hear all these Democrats getting on TV. Oh, we need them. We need them. No, only the politicians need them for Wall Street so that they can put bids on these people's lives and they can hunt them just like we've been hunted. Okay. And those that have survived either homeless or in jail, it doesn't matter. The system is rigged to fail, and it's failing, and it's going to fail. Guaranteed. And the cops are getting out of the state. They're not getting any funding. We're going to the Constitution. We're going back to the grassroots, where Americans have the freedom to make the decision for themselves. We don't need all this crap. This is what's going on in the world. This is what's going on in the world. We had North Korea protecting us, okay? Now they're going to help us create new banking because the banking system is from Nazi Germany. Yes, it is. And a lot of it had to do with, we just all want to survive. We just all want to survive. And the thing is that even the Zionists that created this whole commission through Wall Street on our heads, on our lives, you know.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying it's done. It's done. There's no more money. There's no reparation payment for 6
Yeah,
million
we
people.
do
It's
recognize
done.
that.
It's not going to continue. We have to change our banking system. If we don't, there's not going to be any race whatsoever. And that's the truth of the matter. Listen, I've seen 4 monsters in my life, and I'm not lying. I've seen them, okay? I'm trying to protect you American people from the truth, okay? There are monsters out there, all right? And if they breed with us, we are no longer humans, okay? We are no longer able to procreate. This is serious. You know, this population control that everybody, it was actually the Mormon church that started the AIDS shooting up North Africa. We picked the fight with them, okay? Yes, guilty. But it wasn't me. It wasn't you. Okay. And even the Mormons, I don't even know if it was the Mormons. It was written in the Rolling Stones. Enough. Enough of killing each other. Enough. Have an abortion if you can't afford to have a baby. Okay. If you're not with the right person, have an abortion. Okay. That's just what I think. It's just unfair. It's just unfair. There's no place on this planet that I feel safe being a woman, especially being blonde. It's just maddening that we have to suffer through this. Why? Because they want us to disappear. Okay? And that's the truth of the matter. This country has gone to hell because the foreigners know the game. They know the game. And the game is that we're nothing but a dumping ground for the rest of the world, and that has changed. Thank you, President Trump.
Hey. Oy vey.
Well, he's doing a great job.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
I think so. I really do. He's staying above ground. That's a good job. So, and we're definitely, somebody wrote today that they should fire everybody in the FBI and hire them, and I agree. There was a movie that came out years ago that I was made to watch because it was all about how the FBI frames people and they go after people, and that's what they're doing to me. And that's what they've been doing to me for years, since my husband left this country, to protect my daughter because there was too many things that were happening that risked her life and my life. But I couldn't go, okay, because I had arrests on me. I couldn't leave. I had to stay because I got arrested time and time and time again. Because I put my shoulders up and I put my head back and I don't put up with anybody's shit, and I never will. And if I die that way, then everybody celebrate. I went out the way I came in. Shocking, but it's true. This country just needs to just make a turnaround. It has to. Because where we're going, how much money is everybody going to get in reparation payments if we're all dead? There isn't any money. Right? There's nobody to pay. I mean, one person is going to get all the dead people checks?
We're headed there now. And it's thanks to your savior, President.
Let me say something. The Obama administration, believe me, I have helped Obama. I have spoken to Obama personally. I don't have a problem with Obama. But that whole immigration thing with DACA was a trap. And that's what I'm saying. It was a trap. The Democrats set it up. Once again, they came in from the Republicans and they left for the Republicans to clean up their mess. Okay, it was the year that I was almost murdered, okay, that they were sending immigrants home. Okay, they reported all immigrants over the age of 36 without a college diploma or a GED go home. That was 2013. That was Obama.
Oh, Lord.
It was Obama.
Stop.
It was. Trump is only following through on what Obama says. That's it. And the reason why I was murdered is that there was a hit put on me by India. Okay? And India is in the
You were
Ceci,
murdered?
almost murdered. What are you talking about? I have over $100,000 worth of medical bills. Okay.
Right.
Yes, I was
right,
almost
but-
murdered. My unborn child was.
Murdered.
Yes, I was almost murdered. Yes. What do you? I have major severe injuries that will never go away. What do you mean?
No, I mean, you said when I was murdered.
No, I
You didn't
said,
say when I was almost murdered. But
Tony,
go
we
ahead.
need a referee.
You did say when I was murdered.
Okay. All right. Well,
That's
I
what
was
like.
murdered.
I'm like, you're
I
a
was
ghost.
murdered. Yes, I was when my unborn child was. So that was part of me. So yes, I was murdered. I was broken. And they are so surprised that I've stood up and fought. So surprised. Because, it's like I get so much shit in the world for being blonde and being pretty. Do you, Tony? Do you get shit in the world? Do people treat you worse? Because I get
When I was younger, I mean, people looked at me as a dumb blonde from Kansas. Yeah, but
But
honestly,
you know why
I
they
didn't
did
take
that?
offense in it though.
Well,
'Cause
it's not
then
that
they
you're
don't
dumb.
they don't expect anything from me.
It's not that you're dumb. It's
No,
just
I'm
that
not dumb at all.
Estimate me, please.
What'd you say?
I said underestimate me, please.
That's what I said. As long as
Like
when they
Roxy.
underestimate me, I'm like, I was happy about it because I'm like, then I don't have to. When I do good, then I even look more like a hero.
like you surprised him. Well, see,
But
that's the thing.
but I have to say, I married an immigrant from Brazil.
Yay.
But you married. You married. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
But he did. I mean, I have to say, he did not come to this country to take away anything. I mean, I'll put my 2 cents. I can't see it because of this thing.
Okay.
But my brother, who is like in mid-50s, he's white. He's one of the laziest people I've ever known. He complains about immigrants all the time too. And I said, when I see immigrants out working in fields, selling T-shirts, selling hot dogs to make a living for their family, when I have a family member that has every ability and every right and every talent that anybody has and opportunities, he chooses not to. So it's not everybody doesn't take jobs away from people, because there's a lot of people that just don't want to work.
No, I realize that. But see,
Yeah.
there's the catch-22 because the reason why Americans are lazy is because we do have a feeling of entitlement.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's
of course.
unconstitutional to have a title. You know,
Because
I ask you,
I
you're
see
of
white
noble
people-
blood, you're royalty, but that
Yeah, I do
doesn't
have
mean
royalty.
anything. It's because it's against the Constitution
Right.
to make it anything.
And like I said, my
You know
seventh
what?
great grandfather was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. But see, I'm a person that I'm determined. I work hard, and the opportunities of America is working for me.
Well, I think all three of us are in the same boat. You work really hard, Liz. I mean, you get up every day and go to work, and you do a really good job. And, I believe that I work really hard.
But then, like I said, there's some people that I don't see any Americans that want to, hey, if I didn't have any money, I would be out in the fields picking fruit and vegetables out of it.
But I understand that. And listen.
I'm just saying,
what
but we
I'm
don't see
saying-
Americans do that because they're too much entitled.
Yes, they're entitled, but the politicians are spending our Social Security trust since
I agree with
Nixon.
that.
Nixon sold it to the media.
I do agree with that. But
And that's why all the framing is coming into play with the cops being the biggest thugs on the planet. But anyway, like I said, I miscarried. And the woman that made the call on me was pregnant and was an illegal immigrant. And I was at a place owned by an illegal immigrant. And I'm having to fight for my life, for my freedom, now for justice. And I have to stand in the line. When I was born on the soil, I have to stand in the back of the line with all the immigrants first. I even got a letter from the DOJ saying that, she was pregnant, she was scared of you, without him even knowing the details. Scared of me. She didn't even know I was there. She came in at the end when I was bloody and blind. She wasn't even there. So, I mean, it's just a bunch of bullshit that, these immigrants come in thinking that, there's free land in America. Let's go get some. And they're coming in that way. That's the mentality of it. And
No, I think a lot of people are coming in so that they can eke a living for themselves and for their children. And also so that a lot of people are asylum seekers. They come from extremely dangerous, violent countries.
This is the most violent, extremely dangerous country. Believe me, I've walked it. I've lived in South Africa. Yes, you don't go out by yourself in the middle of the night
We're
in
not
South
in
Africa.
a war zone.
We are in a war zone. That's what I'm telling you, Tony. Are we in a war zone?
I guess it depends what
Not
what
equivalent
area.
to Syria. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's not. And I agree with you. I agree with you on some things, but I think the perception of immigrants has because my thing is the anger that I've seen in the Midwest and the South, because I grew up in the Kansas. I've seen the racism and I've seen the bigots and saying that the blacks and the Mexicans and all this stuff. Listen, nobody, these same people, there's people in my hometown that don't even leave my hometown. They've never even been out of the state. That's their choice. People make their choices. People want to, I agree that some people have it easier than others, but I've never really seen an immigrant come in and saying, oh, I'm going to get free land. I'm going to get.
No, once they buy land, they don't have to leave. They can get land that way. But see, that's the thing is that my husband had to marry me, okay? And believe me, it's been nothing but difficulties because he's from another country and he has plenty of money. And believe me, if he was to leave, his whole economy would collapse in South Africa. And South Africa is known to be extremely dangerous. And you know what? I feel safer over there than I do here.
But
That's what I'm saying.
But is that your experience? Because I actually feel safe. I live in Valencia and I feel like I honestly feel safe. So
have you ever been raped?
But see, that's what I'm saying. If I'm not in your shoes, but
exactly.
But that doesn't mean everybody's in your shoes. Does that make sense?
Well, I understand it doesn't make yes, I understand everybody's not in my shoes.
Right.
I understand that I've been walking this journey on my own without my family
see,
for almost 5
but
years because of them having safety in their country,
But-
where I have no safety in my country. Like I'm not even supposed to be allowed to be here.
But that's what
Because
I'm saying,
according to the
because
DOJ,
right.
the Mexican with the illegal Mexican that was pregnant was entitled, and the hitman who was the Indian motel owner, he was entitled to have my blood on his books or my Social Security trust on his books. Come on. It's not safe. It's not safe to be an American. It's not. So what Trump is doing is alienating us. Yes, please do. I'm an American that needs some safety. I need to know that the cops aren't going to beat me down all the time, every time. Arrest me for what? Driving down the road too slow? Oh, I got to get pulled over. A little parking reverse light is out. I get pulled over and arrested. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. And these are American cops. These are American cops.
But that's what I understand. I'm trying to understand. If they're American cops and he's alienated us from the world, what I don't understand how that's going to help us for the internal, because he's but he's been in there 2 years and it's still not changed. I've not seen.
Has
a lot
it been
of change.
2 years?
Well, a year and a half, coming up on
It's
2
not
years.
2 years. Okay. Well, first of all the drugs come through the cops. Okay.
Okay.
Their mules are, foreigners, and they trade guns on the black market.
Right.
I've seen news stories, and Charlie Buck's
But he's
like,
very
well,
supportive of
you
the
know,
of
we
cops.
all do it. The cops are the biggest gangsters and the thugs, but what I'm saying, according to the Constitution, I'm entitled to that gun. They're not. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm entitled to my trust.
Everybody in my family has
The
guns.
politicians are not.
But
okay?
nobody's coming.
I'm entitled to that trust, not foreigners. My husband's entitled to my trust, not foreigners.
That's insane.
What's insane? That we're nothing but debit? We're nothing but the minus sign for the rest of the world?
That I'm here for this conversation. I mean, you know that I am grateful every day of my life that I live in a city that is a huge melting pot with people from countries all over the world, where I hear tons of different languages being spoken, from going to the bodega to the newsstand to being, to people speaking, Spanish to me. I feel like I get an education every day. Haitian cab drivers, speaking to me in French. I mean, I could not be happier being in a city where whites are actually becoming the minority.
We are the
And
minority. This is why we're having this conversation.
I know, but Robin, as you know, I'm like 1/4 African American.
Well, I have curly hair. That means I have it in my blood too.
So what, I mean, I am. New York is a city that anyone can make a home in, and that is how my family came here. As poor, Russian immigrants, and I mean, they came here to be able to have homes and feed their families, and work on farms on my mom's side, and on my dad's side, to get educated, and to have jobs, and they were and to not get killed. I do, in this Holocaust that you call fake.
I didn't say it. I said it's a hoax. It's a hoax. It is not 6 million people died. They're making that up so that they can collect money. That's what I'm saying. They're putting bids on our lives. The rest of the world is betting on our lives when we're going to die. That's the way it is.
But we really
wake up, America. Wake up. You don't understand the homeless out here, Liz. That's what I'm saying. We have
homeless too. It is not due to immigrants. If anything, it has zero to do. Stop blaming immigrants and refugees for problems that old white guys created.
No, it's not true. It was the Democrats. That's what they created this with the Holocaust hoax 70 years ago. 70 years ago. And Tony, I love you. You're American, but it was the Netherlands, okay, that funded World War II.
My great grandfather came from Bohemia, Czechoslovakia. So.
Oh, I love you even more. That was my first.
But I mean, I did the DNA testing. I'm a mix of everything. I'm not just. Yeah, exactly. That's not my particular homeland.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't.
See, that's the thing is that currency goes according to bloodline. Okay, we need to traffic our own people. We need to man our own people. We need to give each other a dollar value, because I'll tell you one thing, the rest of the world has one on us, and it's not plus, okay? That's what I'm saying. It's time for everybody to go home. They will eventually go home anyway. They're just here to rob us.
Well, I grew up in a town of 300 people, all white, Christian. I actually like the diversity. I'm like Liz. I like being around because I learn. I think I'm a better person because I've learned from different cultures, different religions, different thoughts, different views, different. I mean, I listen to even people that are opposite side. I consider myself a Democrat. I don't agree with the current Republicans. I don't think they're Republicans anymore.
No, they switched. They did switch.
And so
but all I have to say is that
all the time
Joseph Kennedy was the one that instated the SEC regulations, and he was a Republican. The Kennedys were Republicans, not Democrats. It was Ethel's Kennedy's side of the family that was the Democrats. But, okay, enough about politics. I just was saying that the cops work for Congress. They're the henchmen. I don't want them in my state. They're unconstitutional. So all you policemen out there, get your CPA license, because that's the direction we're going, okay? And I used to love immigrants, and believe me, I've taught many friends the American English language that I'm still friends with today, that were cold right here, fresh immigrants, okay? I live in LA. LA is the same thing as New York City. It's a melting pot. But Liz, I'm telling you, the homeless, they don't show you on the news. It's out of control. There has to be at least 100,000 people walking the streets. At least. That's what I'm saying.
Because
Because they don't know the game. Since 1933, they were supposed to be born with entitlements and a social security trust. It's not supposed to go to them at 65. Between that time, countries put bids on us. Okay? That's how they make their money through Wall Street. It's a bidding game. Okay? It's a gamble to live in this country. Believe me, I know. My family lives outside of this country. And I'm still here. I'm still above ground. That's why I said it's a good day. I love you, Liz. I know I exhausted you. And I understand that we have totally different viewpoints on this, and I'm not trying to argue with you at all. I'm just saying that I'm really tired and pissed off of getting arrested when my constitutional rights are being violated, and the immigrants get my constitutional rights along with my Social Security trust, along with my blood overseas. So I love you.
People who didn't cause your pain.
Oh, what are you talking about? Believe me, I have more bills than anybody. I have a deformed nose, okay? What? Yes, they did cause my pain. Yes, it was two foreigners. It was an illegal Mexican and an illegal India guy that thought he rules the world, okay? Because they have a class system. That's every country has a class system. That's how they determine currency. And, you know, we are not up to snuff. We're what do you call it when we're the mark? We're the mark. It's only a game. So anyway, I love you.
They're individuals. You're making blanket generalizations.
I'm talking about myself and my own experiences. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, bye for now.
Chic.com has worldwide users instant messaging, reading blogs, romance stories, posting pictures, getting recipes, playing games, buying, selling, psychic readings, reviewing, and much more. Interact at Chic.com.
Psychic Robin Zodiac has talent of ESP abilities to predict your future in accurate detail. Robin Zodiac has authored many advised books, and you can interact at Psy-Chic.com. Clients call Robin at 877-924-4783 for a $3 a minute reading.